Know it or learn it. Eating, sleeping, finding shelter, and moving from place to place. How do animals know what to do? As you read these 2 pages, circle words that tell how instinct and learned behaviors are different. Underline examples of each. A behavior is anything an organism does. Learned behaviors are behaviors that come from watching other animals or through experience. Young animals learn how to behave by watching and copying adults. There are other behaviors. An instinct is a behavior that an animal knows without learning it. Animals are born with instincts. Behaviors are adaptations that may help an animal survive in its environment. A mother lion teaches her cubs to hunt. Searching for food is an instinct. Knowing how to find and catch food is something cubs must learn by copying their parents. A mother sea turtle buries her eggs in the sand. Most young sea turtles hatch at night. Their instinct is to go toward the brightest area. This instinct helps the hatchlings find the ocean. A chimpanzee isn't born knowing how to use a tool. It learns this behavior by watching others. Sometimes a chimp may figure it out on its own. It is an instinct for some birds to sing, but sometimes the songs they sing are learned from other birds. A moth's instinct is to use moonlight to find its way. That is why moths are attracted to porch lights. A spider's web helps it survive. The web is sticky, so it traps insects. But how does a spider know how to spin a web? This is an instinctive behavior. How are instincts and learned behaviors alike? Finding food. Hungry, cold, wet. That's what animals would be without the instinct to find food and shelter. As you read these 2 pages, underline details that tell ways animals find food. Circle ways animals find shelter. Every animal looks for food when it's hungry. It's an instinctual behavior, but actually finding food can be a learned behavior. Some animals learn from watching their parents or other adults, but some animals can learn by themselves too. Bears come to the stream to catch salmon. The bears wait for the fish to swim upstream. This is a learned behavior. How did this archer fish know how to get food from above the water? The fish instinctively shoots water at insects in the air to catch them. Finding shelter. These birds learned to build nests on buildings when trees were cut down. A gopher uses what it has, soil and claws, to make a shelter in the ground. Ants work together to make an anthill. They use the soil around them. The hill hides a tunnel system that provides shelter and storage space for food. How does building an anthill help the group of ants? Hibernation. When the weather turns cold, it is time for many animals to slow down. As you read these 2 pages, draw a line under the words that describe what is happening to the animals in the photos. Animals respond to cold winter weather in different ways. Some animals stay active during winter. They find food or eat food they have hidden. Other animals hibernate or go into a deep, sleep-like state that helps them survive the cold winter conditions. Normal body activities slow down, the heartbeat slows, and breathing almost stops. Hibernating is an instinctive behavior. A hibernating animal doesn't use much energy because its body is barely working. There is enough fat stored in the animal's body to keep it alive through the winter. This ground squirrel spent the fall eating and gaining weight. It stored up enough energy to survive winter. Hibernating. The squirrel's heart rate and breathing have become slower. Forming groups. Many animals get benefits from forming groups. Animals have many different types of social behaviors. Some animals benefit when several members of the same species form groups. Animals may form groups for several reasons. They may form groups to hunt for food. They also form groups to protect the group from predators. The groups make these tasks easier. For example, cooperative hunting occurs when animals group together and divide the labor or specialize during the hunt. This approach allows the animals to capture prey more successfully and suffer fewer losses to their group. However, the animals must share the food, which may not be enough for all of the animals. Animals also may form groups as added protection from predators. Larger numbers may dissuade or confuse predators from attacking. The group of animals offers more eyes to watch for predators. Animals also may group together for protection from the elements. Some animals huddle together to stay warm during the cold weather. Larger herds require ample amounts of food and water for the animal's survival. These water buffalo form large groups and are protected from the lion. Migration. Some animals are travelers. Some whales make a yearly trip from someplace cold to someplace warm and back. As you read, compare different reasons animals migrate. Circle each reason an animal might migrate. Animals migrate when they move a long distance as a group from one region to another and back. Whales swim to warm places and mate. They swim to a different spot to give birth. Then they swim back to where they were to find food. Many animals, including birds and fish, migrate. Whales and some other animals teach their young the way to go. The path the animals take is learned, but knowing when to migrate is an instinct. In the winter, when the land freezes over in the Arctic, tundra swans fly to the warmer south. When the weather warms up, the swans return to the Arctic. There they mate and wait for their eggs to hatch. Gray whales have one of the longest migration routes of any mammal. They travel up to 21,000 kilometers each year. Gray whales swim from the cold Arctic to the warm Mexico to have their young. Migration routes of gray whales and tundra swans. Some animals use the sun and stars to find their way. That's an instinct. Some animals learn migration routes from other animals.